Welcome along, fellow time travelers and strange historians. This time around, I'm going to be reading some of Benjamin Franklin's famous quotes. So sit back and pour yourself a cup of coffee, or a tankard of tea, or a mug of mead, or a chalice of cider, or a flagon filled with any beverage of your choice, and join me and your fellow time travelers and strange historians around the campfire. So, as you guys know, I love to read famous quotes, and Benjamin Franklin had many famous ones. And so many of these were published in his Poor Richard's Almanac. So, before I get started, when I tell you what that is, I'll just read this off of Wikipedia since it's accurate information here. It says Poor Richard's Almanac was a yearly almanac published by Benjamin Franklin, who adopted the pseudonym of Poor Richard or Richard Saunders for this purpose. The publication, I'm talking about Poor Richard's Almanac, appeared continually from 1732 until 1758. It sold exceptionally well for a pamphlet published in the 13 colonies. Print runs reached 10,000 per year. Wow. Well, listen, I'm not going to tell you who Ben Franklin is because I'm sure you know. So let's get started. Got a list here of 24, and I'll read some more in the future, but we'll get started on these. So, number one, it says here, and this is, by the way, from the Franklin Institute. They put this together, Benjamin Franklin's famous quotes. Number one, love your enemies, for they tell you you're false. And that was published in 1756 in Poor Richard's Almanac. And then the next one was also published in the Almanac, but in 1739, and it was as follows: He that falls in love with himself will have no rivals. And then you have another quote, and this one actually was in a letter to the president of the Royal Society of London in 1783. He wrote this. Actually, that was in July. And then he wrote it again in another letter in 1783 in September. And it was as follows: There never was a good war or a good peace. And then number four, it says, He that lies down with dogs shall rise up with fleas. Now it's from 1733. And then 1734, he said, this is number five, better slip with foot than tongue. And number six, it says, look before, or you'll find yourself behind. And that was in 1735. And a year later, in 1736, he wrote, don't throw stones at your neighbors if your own windows are glass. And then in that same year, this is number eight, he said, he that would live in peace and at ease must not speak at all. He knows or judge all he sees. Number nine, well done is better than well said. That was in 1739. In fact, the way these are put together, they seem to be in consecutive order. So the next one is 1739, and it is number 10, and it's a right heart exceeds all. And then number 11, 1744, he said, what you seem to be really. And then number 12, he said, a true friend is the best possession. And then a year later, he said this once, number 13, no gains without pains. And then a year later, number 14, it says, dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that's the stuff life is made of. Number 15, lost time is never found again. That was number 15, and that was in 1747. 16, when you're good to others, you're best to yourself. And that was in 1748. And then in that same year, he said, and this is number 17, Pardoning the bad is injuring the good. And then a couple years later in 1750, he said this one, it's number 18. Hide not your talents. They for use were made. What's a sundial in the shade? And then later that year, he said, glass, china, and reputation are easily cracked and never well mended. And then a year later, in 1751, he said, what's more valuable than gold? Diamonds? What's more valuable than diamonds? Virtue. And then number 21 in 1753, he said, haste makes waste. And then number 22, he said, search others for their virtues, thyself for thy vices. 23, it is better to take many injuries than to give one. And then the final one, this is number 24, he said, wish not so much to live long as to live well. So there we are, you guys, from the Franklin Institute. This was 24 of Benjamin Franklin's famous quotes, and there's a lot more. I just wanted to share these with you. I thought you would enjoy listening to them. And so, let me know what you think about quotes like these and proverbs and aphorisms. And go ahead and leave your comments below. And if they're helpful, and I'm sure they might be, they'll be approved. In fact, you could even list some of your famous quotes. Those would be much appreciated. If you enjoyed this video, kindly like it, share it, and subscribe. Please hit the notification bell, and please become a member of my channel. If you want to support my research and hear more shows like this, please click on the link below so you can see how you can make a donation directly to me. And you can also join me on other platforms such as Patreon, where I post exclusive content. Kindly be kind to other humans. Please be kind to all non-human animals, and please don't eat them. They don't like it. And please do yourself a favor and go to a local shelter and adopt a cat or a dog. You'll be very glad that you did. Until next time, my fellow strange historians and time travelers, I wish you safe travels on all your journeys.